Hello and welcome. Talking about money can sometimes feel like this big, scary storm cloud, right? But I promise, today we're going to find the sunshine. We're going to make it super cozy, really encouraging, and maybe even a little magical as we figure out how to build a truly bright financial future together.
Okay, so let's play a little game. When I say the word millionaire, what's the first thing that pops into your head? Is it like a flashy sports car, a giant mansion? I think that's what most of us imagine. But what if I told you that picture might be a bit of a myth?
Exactly. This quote here, it comes from a really groundbreaking book called The Millionaire Next Door. Researchers actually studied real millionaires, and you know what they discovered? That the common image we have of wealth is almost completely wrong. And that hidden truth is what we're going to unpack today.
Ooh, I love a good myth busting. This feels like we're about to go on a treasure hunt, not for some buried chest of gold, but for the real secret path to building wealth. And the best part is, it's a path that's actually achievable. Okay, I'm ready. Let's dive in.
So, the authors Thomas Stanley and William Danko did something pretty revolutionary. Instead of just guessing what millionaires are like, they spent years, literally years, interviewing and studying America's affluent to figure out how they actually built their fortunes. They were looking for the real recipe for wealth, not the one we see in the movies. And what they found was just fascinating. The real millionaires, they weren't living in Beverly Hills. They were literally the millionaires next door, clustered in totally normal middle-class neighborhoods. It just goes to show you that wealth is so often invisible, hiding in the most unexpected places.
And through all this research, Stanley and Danko identified two really different approaches to money. So to make it fun, we're calling them the golden acorn squirrels and the glitter bugs. These two little characters perfectly capture the core habits that either build wealth or, well, prevent it.
First up, you've got the golden acorn squirrels. Now, in the book, they're called prodigious accumulators of wealth, or PAWS for short. These are the absolute masters of building wealth. They're so diligent and wise, and they're just brilliant at taking their income, whether it's big or small, and carefully turning it into this cozy, secure financial nest for their future. And then we have the glitter bugs, or as the research calls them, under-accumulators of wealth. Now, these folks are often super charming, and they might even have really high incomes, so they look really successful on the outside. But they're just drawn to all the shiny, glittery things, the new car, the big house, the fancy watch, which leaves very little left over to plant in their money garden. Wow, seeing them side by side makes the difference so clear. The squirrels value freedom and focus on net worth, while the glitter bugs prioritize that social status thing, which is fueled by having a high income. So how do you figure out which path you're on? Well, luckily, the book gives us a simple little tool to check in with ourselves. It's called your expected net worth. And don't worry, this is not a test. Think of it as a friendly checkup. You just multiply your age by your pre-tax annual income, and then you divide that number by 10. The result is a rough benchmark for where your net worth should be if you're on that golden acorn path. Okay, and this leads us to what is probably the biggest mindset shift of all. It's an idea that author Morgan Housel explores in his amazing book, The Psychology of Money, and it just beautifully explains the why behind the habits of the millionaire next door.
Just let that one sink in for a minute. It's so simple, but so profound. Housel basically explains that we tend to think wealth is what we see, the stuff people have. But true wealth isn't about showing off. It's about what you quietly keep, what you don't spend.
That's a total game changer. It completely reframes everything, doesn't it? So wealth isn't the fancy car. It's having enough money in the bank that you could buy the car, but you just choose not to. It's not about possessions at all. It's about freedom and options.
And this right here brilliantly illustrates the core insight. Housel says that saving is simply the gap between your ego and your income. So the most powerful way to save more isn't necessarily to earn more money, it's to increase your humility, to just care less about what other people think. Okay, I honestly feel like my brain has been totally rewired. Now that we have this new mindset, how do we actually start? I am so ready to plant my own little money garden. Let's get to the actionable, sparkly tools that can help us all get going.
Absolutely. The research from The Millionaire Next Door identifies 7 key seeds, so let's walk through the first 4. Number 1, live below your means. This is basically the soil your entire garden grows in. Second, budget your time and money. This is how you decide where to plant your most precious energy. Third, value freedom over status. That means focusing on the beautiful harvest you'll get later, not just the fancy watering can you're using today. And fourth, encourage financial independence in your family, teaching them how to tend their own gardens too.
The next few habits build on that really strong foundation. So, number 5 is to not rely on what the book calls economic outpatient care, or, financial handouts from others. Number 6 is about learning to spot the sunny patches in the garden, which really just means getting skilled at finding good investment opportunities. And finally, number 7, choose the right occupation for you, one that lets you grow and thrive. Each one is just a small choice that adds up to a beautiful, secure future.
So, the most crucial takeaway is this. Building wealth isn't some big dramatic event. It's not about a lottery win or some hot stock tip. It's about the quiet, consistent, daily habits. Your future fortune is literally found in the small, simple seeds you choose to plant, day after day. So as we wrap things up, I want to leave you with this question to think about. What's one small seed, just one, that you can plant for your future self, starting today?